Hello, my name is Regina Banks, and I'm here with the delegation from the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America to COP26. And today is a bit of a parliamentarians' day, parliamentary day, and we've had the stunning opportunity to hear some members of parliament from Great Britain, the host country, and we were talking about civil society and what civil society can do to move the needle in our local context. So I'd like to have them introduce themselves and give us a few pointers quickly about what we can do back at home as part of civil society.
So I'm Steve Bryan, I'm Member of Parliament for Winchester in the southern part of England. I think this session here is all about how we use the scrutiny function of the House of Commons in London to hold government to account for its promises around net zero. And the real trick, and the question I asked, is how do we get young people on Youth Empowerment Day? How do we get young people into the room, metaphorically and physically? How do we bring civil society into those sort of rather formal, staid scrutiny decisions and make them then part of asking government questions, because young people are clearly not in government because they're still being young people, and so how do we bring them into the structure? That's the key here, to make sure that COP is not just a discussion.
Hello, I'm Karen Bradley and I'm a Member of Parliament for a constituency called Staffordshire Moorlands, and I think I would add to what Steve has said that this isn't going to work. None of these discussions here at COP26 are going to come to anything unless people buy into what leaders agree. And that means civil society has to be part of the conversation. Civil society needs to be in the room, making the point, making it clear so that governments understand what the impact will be on people of the decisions they're taking, not just in the UK or the US, but across the whole world. Civil society is the only body that can actually bring that perspective.
And I'm Anthony Brown, I'm MP for South Cambridgeshire, Cambridge, England, rather than Cambridge, Massachusetts. I'm also chair of the All-Party Parliamentary Group on the Environment. And I used to be a journalist for about 20 years, Times of London and BBC, and engaged with civil society regularly there. Particularly, I covered environment issues often. The environment groups have been absolutely critical, and civil society more widely, in raising the importance and the political importance of environmental measures. And now, as chair of the APPG on the environment, I work with all different environment groups and civil society. And there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that certainly in the UK, and I think governments across the world, would not be as committed to tackling climate change if civil society groups hadn't been campaigning and pushing for decades to get something done. And governments need that sort of cover, as it were. They need to be sort of chased to do it. And that is why I think the environment movement is actually one of the most successful mass movements over the last 50 years or so. And we're all environmentalists now. That's because of civil society. And actually, it's even with us gone up to the Queen of England, who at this gave a video statement to this summit about the importance of tackling climate change. So we wouldn't all be here if civil society hadn't been so active for the previous decades.
Wonderful. So it sounds to me like all of you are agreeing that an investment that civil society groups would make in advocacy and in storytelling to our governmental leaders would be well-founded.
Well, we have to understand that as much as we politicians have reach through our social media channels and talking directly to our constituents, ultimately people are involved in civil society much more than they're involved with their members of parliament and their parliamentarians. So those channels are absolutely critical. If we don't use them, then we're missing a trick.
Yeah, absolutely. As Anthony said, actually civil society has got us to this point, but civil society is the only bit that can get us to the next bit. And Steve said exactly the right point. We can connect with our constituents, but actually it's civil society that really connects with people.
It is. I see in civil society, I see fantastic energy and commitment from people. Day in, day out, young and old together, all pushing in a certain sort of direction. And as Steve said, they engage far more with wider groups, including your church, than they do with their parliamentarians. So absolutely carry on that commitment.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate the time you've taken with us today. Please enjoy the rest of your time here at COP, and we'll make sure that you get a copy of this for your social media as well, so we can partner together continually.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.